This month's object is this little badge, and it belonged to Zoe Polinska Palmer. Zoe Polinska was born in 1929 in Odessa, which then was part of the Soviet Union and today is in southern Ukraine. At the age of 13, she was forcibly taken from her family by the Nazis, along with all the other children in the area, and she was taken to Auschwitz. While she was at Auschwitz, she was put to work and she was experimented on. These were experiments carried out on behalf of the Nazis by physicians to prove supposed Nazi ideology about the superiority of races. And they were also experiments carried out by large pharmaceutical companies. A lot of people did not survive, but Zoe did. She was in Auschwitz for a year and a half, and she was then transferred to another camp, Dachau. And unfortunately for Zoe, the experiments continued there for her. One day, while she was being transported to work on the land, an Allied plane attacked and she managed to escape from the Nazis. But unfortunately for Zoe, it was not the end of her hardships. She made her way across Austria, mainly on foot, and she ended up in a very large refugee camp in Austria, in a place called Linz. And while she was there, the Yalta Agreement was signed. And this was an agreement signed between Roosevelt, Stalin, and Churchill, and it was basically a forced repatriation of all Soviet citizens to the Soviet Union, whether they wanted to or not. And for a lot of these people, it meant further labour camps and most likely death. When it came to Zoe's turn to be repatriated, she managed to avoid being put on the train going home, and she ended up in a Red Cross camp where she worked for 2 years. And while working at the camp, she caught the eye of a Canadian serviceman called Arthur Palmer, and in 1948 the pair married. So the couple eventually set up home in Brodie Ferry, and we can fast forward to 1961 when our little badge comes into play. Zoe saw a job advert by a local company called Dayco. Dayco manufactured textile machinery, and they were looking to export orders to the Soviet Union at the very first British Trades Fair in Moscow of that year of 1961. But they needed an interpreter. For Zoe, this job was really her one and only opportunity to get home and to see her family for the first time since she was taken as a 13-year-old. So she applied for the job and she got it. And off she went to Moscow with the company. Zoe had managed to get word to her mum that she would be in Moscow for the month. So her mum made her way to Moscow, and the two of them finally met up after 18 years apart. They spent 4 evenings together after Zoe finished her shift in the fair. And after those 4 evenings, they never saw each other again. Zoe kept this badge her entire life as a reminder of that reunion. She died in 2017 in Brodie Ferry at the age of 89.